Let's make some noise. Come on.
Right indeed, Nick Foles. Yes, let's make some noise. Nick Foles. I'm sorry. Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise indeed. Welcome back, everybody, to the final word here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy, MattyB. And I want to continuously thank Nick Foles. Sorry, Super Bowl MVP, Nick Foles, the patron saint of the final word with MattyB here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network for that. Always comes at me with the energy every single night. Nick brings that energy. He brings that heat. He brings that fire that only a Super Bowl MVP can do. It's great to be back here on this Monday night, and I hope everybody in the world is fine tonight. I'm doing well. I don't know how you guys are doing, but we got a show tonight. We're going to get things rolling because we have multiple things to cover. Actually, two. Well, I guess that is the definition of multiple, more than one. We're going to continue the conversation as the homers are stirring the Kool-Aid pot today, boy. Woo! Man. Oh, man. It is funny how a win against the JV Raiders is propelled the Eagle faithful, a majority of them. Well, maybe not a majority, but more than a minority of them back into the Super Bowl frenzy. Because all is right in the world. All is right in that sports world here in Philadelphia tonight because we beat the Raiders. Because we bludgeoned the Las Vegas Raiders. Big Al's Clifton Rams, Pee-wee team, could have went out there and probably put up a fight against the Raiders. All right, no offense to the Clifton Rams of the Pee-wee League in Delco. But let me tell you, man, if we are sailing our ship, christening our ship on the victory that the Eagles put on the Las Vegas Raiders, then I can tell you for 100% certainty I ain't the crazy one. All right? I ain't the crazy one because there's no way you're selling me on anything that happened yesterday has long-term effects for fixing the problems that ail the Philadelphia Eagles as we now enter the most critical point of the football season. And I know Saturday against the Commanders is probably going to be another cakewalk. There might be a hiccup along the way against Buffalo, even if that game means anything for the Eagles. And then on Sunday, in Week 18 against the Commanders, I'll be starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles in that one. So that's not going to matter at all. We're going to go into the playoffs with a false sense of pride and hope or blind faith. What is Al? Al calls it faith, and I call it blind faith, but faith in what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be able to try to do in 2025. So we're going to continue the conversation that we started yesterday on the Eagles. And yeah, your Philadelphia Phillies are back in it, man. We made a move, boy. Woo! Adolis Garcia. Adolis, is that how you say his name? Garcia. The newest member of the Philadelphia Phillies today, a 1-year, $10 million contract, seemingly sealing the deal there with Nick Castellanos' fate. Now the question goes, do the Phillies eat major crow on Castellanos because they can't trade him? That is the big question now. It's obviously the die has been cast. Castellanos is gone, but I don't think they're going to be able to trade him. And I think it's going to cost the Phillies. They've spent $10 million on this guy, and I don't know what, $20 million on Castellanos. It's going to cost them double at what it took to sign the Garcia guy. And is Garcia, I mean, what is he? And we're going to break him down. We're going to talk about him. Because I'm here to tell you, folks, this ain't moving the needle for me. This has got Max Kepler written all over it for me. This is not a good move. This is definitely a move that signals a run back, another power bat. Now, he is a righty, but he doesn't hit for average, and he strikes out a ton, which he fits right in here. But this is definitely not trying to change the DNA of the baseball team. So we'll get into the I must call him Chapman, the Garcia move. We got our Day in Philadelphia Sports History, your Of the Night segment, and your card review, all that. And anything else you guys want to bring to bear here on this Monday night in December. Man, we're getting close to Christmas. I just realized that today. I substitute teach. So I don't really have a day job, folks. I'm a retired soldier. I did 30 years in the Army. So yes, I am now living on the backs of the government. All right, I'm a ward of the government. They're taking care of me now, and in order to kind of keep myself occupied, I go out and I substitute teach in elementary schools in my area. And yes, I know it's an image to see MattyB inside of a classroom teaching the young minds of America and molding them to my image. But we were talking today. I was in a third grade class today, and they were asking me how many days it is till Christmas. And I said, well, if you look at it, today's over. So you got about 9 or 10. And that dawned on me. I'm like, God damn, 9 or 10 days and we're at Christmas? Jeez, what's happened to this time? So we're getting close to the big day. But we're going to cover you. Listen, we got you covered on Christmas. I'll be here on Christmas Day. I won't be here on Christmas Eve, but I will be here on Christmas Day. But I want more of that later on. So, well, we already want to have some fun tonight. And before we get rolling on the program, and remind everybody, this is what's happening on the It's a Wrap Sports Network this week. You had some Steel City pregame today. I mean, they were on for like 5 hours as they got you ready for Steelers Dolphins. You got me tonight. Tomorrow, the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight, which will kind of serve as the Steel City postgame show. They're not doing a postgame show tonight. Yeah, they're weak. They're not ready. They're not ready to jump into the major leagues yet. And hey, all due respect to Pittsburgh, wherever part of Ohio that's in, I get it. Maybe one day they'll come up to this level and be able to do a post-game show after midnight. But, hey, got to be patient with them. But they'll be doing the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight program tomorrow. Props, locks, and parlays and Flyers Canadians tomorrow. Post-game, that's my call, so I will not be doing the final word tomorrow. I will be on post-game duty. Wednesday, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk and the final word. Thursday, the big day, Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn, to be determined. I stopped putting 7 o'clock up there because I'm done lying to myself and you. We're going to do a show at 7 o'clock. The Gridiron Weekly, the final word, and then Flyers Sabres clear the ice. Friday is the Philly Friday Frenzy with Reverend Jim Jones, a.k.a. Al Zafiri. He's going to be conducting Mass that night. So for those of you that need a good shot of brainwashing, you know where you got to be, 9 p.m. Friday night, the Philly Friday Frenzy. Bring your own Kool-Aid, and he'll bless it for you, and y'all just sit there and just drink it. Just drink it all night long, smiling, because Al's going to give you what the good shot of Kool-Aid you need. Saturday, we got post-game Flyers, Rangers, and then some first flyby Eagles, Commanders. And then we get it all wrapped and started again on Sunday with the Philly AM Sports Show. Pre-game, Steel City Sunday at 1:30. That's actually going to be at 12:30. They keep changing it on me. They keep telling me it's 3 hours before kickoff. Then I hear today it's 4 hours. Maybe next week it'll be 5 hours, but that show will go off around 12:30 on Sunday. Then they'll be back post-game sometime about 7:30 or so Sunday night, and then I will have you Sunday night on the final word, and we'll do what we got to do on that. So that is your lineup for the week, and the phone lines are now officially open as your link to the show has now entered your chat rooms and all the social media platforms that you're listening to. So hop on. Remember, I do not need to see you if you don't feel comfortable. I just need to be able to hear you, and you need to be able to hear me. So that's all we got to do for that. But we're going to roll the show here. Where am I at here? All right, get that down. All right, so let's strap in, strap on, strap up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times, and let's roll with your day in Philadelphia sports history. Star Wars last night broke this day. This has got to be like the holy trinity of Philadelphia sports events in our history, because this is probably one of the most largely quoted events that occurred that has defined us as a fan base. And I'm here to tell you, we've come a long way since this event. And, in actuality, this thing got kind of blown out of proportion, but it definitely, if you ask a passerby, describe to me a Philadelphia sports fan, they're probably going to, at one point during their recitation, bring up this event. And it occurred on this day in 1968. One might think it's an annual holiday ritual in Philadelphia that the way the national media constantly brings it up, but this day, Eagles fans pelted Santa Claus with snowballs. All right, that's right. The infamous snowball Santa incident. It occurred today on 1968 at halftime of the eventual 24-17 loss to the Minnesota Vikings. because of a snowstorm, the originally contracted Santa that was supposed to appear at the game did not make it to the game. And his scab, or the float that he was going to ride on, was too heavy to get through the snow-soaked field. So what they ended up doing was getting sort of an understudy, a guy that was sort of filling in, who was not ready for it, was not prepared for the role, did not study for the role of Santa Claus. But he jumped in, and as he kind of moved his way across the field, so as he moved across the field, they let him have it with snowballs. Maybe they felt a little disrespected that the Eagles could not produce. Maybe a lot of people went to that game thinking that was the main attraction for them, was to go see Santa. And when they saw, Roland Joe coming out, maybe they were like, what the hell is this, man? We paid good money. Not only are the Eagles losing, but now we get a second-rate Santa. So we're going to take out all of our frustrations on Santa Claus. And he began to let him have it. And of course, it became an incident of infamy in Philadelphia sports history. So there you have it. One of the holy trinity moments of Philadelphia sports history occurred on this day in 1968, the Santa Claus incident. So happy Santa Claus Day for all you fans out there. And as I said, we've come a long way. And it's funny because back in 1968, they didn't care what the national media thought of them. And when I was growing up, they didn't care. Now we are a shell of that, right? We're a shell of that type of fan where we are like, yeah, we don't care, but yeah, we do. And it's actually sickening how we try to feed at the power teat of the national media, trying to paint this rosy picture of what we are. We are, what we are? We're a snowball throwing at Santa Claus sports fan. And there's no getting away from that. So instead of trying to repair that, trying to make that better, embrace that, man. Embrace that very unique identity. Now, I know since then, and hell, where was it yesterday that they got blasted for not in Cincinnati? They didn't even clear the damn snow out of the stands yesterday. So, I mean, and I didn't watch that game. I'm sure there were some snowballs flying in that thing. But of course, we're the first to do it, or the first video evidence to do it. So enjoy it, Philadelphia, because you earned it. The infamous Santa snowball at Franklin Field. And there you have it, your day in Philadelphia sports history. Brought to you by the fine folks here at the It's a Wrap Sports Network, as, of course, creators of the previously mentioned Philly Friday Frenzy with Reverend Jim Jones. Big Al Zafiri holding service there. Bring your own Kool-Aid. He doesn't provide it, but he'll make you drink it. And once you drink it, you'll feel better. I promise you will. You'll feel better once you suck down the Kool-Aid of Reverend Big Al Zafiri as he preaches the propaganda and the good word of the Eagle Homer flock. So make sure you're there Friday nights at 9 p.m. for Big Al. Oh, man. Ryan checks in. Oh, same old Phillies moves, clueless and egotistic. We are going to get into I guess we can start with that. Let's bring up, so the Phillies did make a move, and they brought in the eventual, I guess now, replacement of Nick Castellanos, Adolis Garcia, and there he is. These are his 2025 numbers with the Texas Rangers. 135 games played, a healthy 227 batting average, 19 homers, 75 RBIs, and a lofty 665 OPS. But here's the offensive number that jumped right out at me. 507 at-bats in 2025 and 135 strikeouts. The man was striking out at a 26.6% clip. He's a strikeout machine. And now he is going to be, I would imagine, I don't know how he's going to fit into the lineup. Is he now the right-handed power bat to protect Bryce Harper? Or is he I don't know really where you put him here. But the Phillies are betting on Garcia to return to his 21 and 23 All-Star form, where he batted, I think he hit 39 homers in the 23 season, helping helping the Rangers. Wait, did the Rangers win the World Series in 23? I don't even remember. Yeah, helping the Rangers win the World Series in 23. And yes, he brings a solid glove, but is that what we were away here to win a World Series? We were a Gold Glover right fielder away. Is that what we were missing to win a World Series? I don't think that's what we were missing. What we were missing is a contact hitter, and what we got was a power hitter who's sort of looking at Philadelphia as an opportunity to resurrect his career. And yeah, this does smack of not desperation, but this smacks of a move because we are running it back. And now there's going to be people out there who are going to tell you we're not doing that. Nah. The appearance of Justin Crawford and Andrew Painter in our rotation in our lineup this year is a indicator that we're not running it back. And don't believe the hype there, folks. Don't believe them idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. Justin Crawford really right now is nothing more than Johan Rojas right now until proven otherwise. Until he proves otherwise, that's all he is. Andrew Painter is the biggest unknown in that rotation. And you know what? The expectations of Andrew Painter are to replace the departed Ranger Suarez. So, yeah, we are running it back, goddammit. And it might not be the same names, but it's the same DNA. And that's been my rally cry all offseason. It's been my rally cry since basically July, is that the DNA in this baseball team is flawed. And it needs to change. And I don't see any indications that we're willing to change it. Now, is there a power bat needed in this lineup? You know, a power bat. Is there a power bat needed in right field? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Gabriel McConis Jr., I guess, is not going to be your right fielder next year. I guess he's going to start out as a camp guy battling for a potential roster spot. But at 1 year and $10 million, it doesn't seem like a bad move. But when you factor in what it's going to cost to get rid of Nick Castellanos, because nobody's picking him up. No, everyone's waiting for him to get released, and then they'll sign him. But nobody's giving the Phillies anything for Nick Castellanos. Not a thing. And the Phillies are going to take a bath in that final year of that contract. So you're actually paying, inside of Garcia's deal, you're also paying for the dead cap hit of Nick Castellanos. So this is an absolute terrible move. Absolute terrible move. And maybe that's why they signed Garcia, because they figured they were going to have to make up the money for Castellanos somewhere, and they're going to have to do it off of somebody else's salary. And that's, I guess, is what $10 million gets you, is Adolis Garcia. Solid defense. But again, are we a Gold Glove right fielder away from winning a World Series? No, we are not. We are so far away. And what we got here essentially is Nick Castellanos at the plate and Alec Bohm. Matter of fact, they were batting better than this guy. Now, he's got history where he's played better and he's produced better, and he's a right-handed bat. Is that what cinched it here? A right-handed bat? I mean, was that the overarching deal clincher? We needed a right-handed outfielder who could at least swing the bat? This is a reach, man. This is an absolute reach, and this is a price move. This is not this move doesn't make any sense in trying to win a World Series. This move makes sense of spending money within a budget that you have and trying to fill a hole. Not stupid money, John Middleton. This has got nothing to do with that. I think we can also say that ship has sailed, that no longer is in play, that John Middleton isn't spending stupid money anymore, unless it's a former player or one of our own free agents. But this is Max Kepler 2.0. That's what this guy is. Does playing at the bank for 81 games next year, does that up the ante with him? Does that make him, does that raise that 19 homers up to 25, 28, maybe 30? Yeah, could potentially do that. Is he going to get more than 135 games in next year? Yeah. But if he gets 507 at-bats and strikes out 135 times, dude, it's closing in on 30% of the time he strikes out. I mean, he fits right in with what we got. But tell me again how that's changing anything about the DNA of this baseball team. So there you have it. Adolis Garcia, your newest Philly. the heir apparent allegedly now to Nick Castellanos. And yeah, it's really not it's not moving my needle. No freaking clue. Joe Hale, what's up? 1 year, $10 million deal and the free swinger to another. Yeah, exactly. Maybe this guy swings at high pitches. Maybe that's will be the change. Instead of going at stuff at your feet, maybe he's swinging at things at his head. Maybe that it just changes things up. Go Flyers and deal. Indeed. Max Kepler last year. Yeah, absolutely, Ryan. No, it's not trying to change the DNA. It is not. It's a price-cutting move. It's not a price-cutting move. It's spending money within your budget, trying to fill a hole because they know they're getting rid of Nick Castellanos. At this point, if that was the option, just keep Nick Castellanos for one more year. You save money. Maybe you can find a different free agent. Maybe you can address third base. Take that money that you're going to spend in the dead cap hit of Nick Castellanos and invest it in what could be an upgrade at third base. Now, I don't know if you can do that. I don't get it either. I honestly don't understand this move. This move makes no baseball sense to me. I think it's like 32. He's going to be 33 sometime in the spring. Makes no sense, man. Max Garcia. Let's just call him Max Garcia. Oh, man. I don't know. Let's see if one of our callers, Joe, does this make any sense to you?
Yes, it does. And MLB reporting right now that you only have to pay Castellanos $5 million. Here's a buyout option.
Okay.
So it makes sense because the Phillies aren't done yet. They're in talks with Duran again from Boston.
Okay.
There's a rumor out there that they want Bohm and other pieces. The other pieces are going to be prospects. Would you do it?
For Duran Duran from the Red Sox?
Yes.
Yeah, I would because he fits that number 2 hole in the lineup. We need a number 2 hitter. I'm not going into the season with Kyle Schwarber batting second. Yeah, we need a number 2 hitter. I would do it.
Glad they got Garcia.
What's that?
Better than Castellanos. Won't complain about playing time. Loves to play. A stolen base threat too.
If he can get on base.
Yes. But he walked last year in Texas.
He did. But Joe, he struck out 26% of the time he got up at plate. 135 strikeouts and 507 at bats. That's a lot of strikeouts, man.
He's better than Castellanos. Way better.
But is he not a similar profile offensively than Nick Castellanos?
I would say he's a Rojas type.
He's a what type?
Yeah, that he can run. Rojas can run.
Rojas is not hitting 25 home runs.
Well,
okay, what's Garcia? So what you're looking at Garcia at 33 years old before the season. He'll be about 33 when the season starts. Okay. Who knows where he's batting in the lineup? Is he going to be the cleanup guy? Is he going to be the 2? I don't know where they're going to put him.
I would put him 6.
You put him at 6.
Put Bohm at 3rd. Bohm batting 3rd.
Okay, so hang on. Regardless of where he bats in the lineup. 33, 227 batting average last year. Struck out 135 times. What is different about that profile than anybody else on this baseball team right now? Of a group of players who have not been able to advance past the first round over the last 3 years. But what is different about that? Anything?
Hitting for average.
He batted 227 last year.
Homers.
His average in the league is about 243.
He can hit for homers. He's going to have...
So another power hitter. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That's not what we need, Joe.
What do we need?
Joe, we need people that can get on base. I don't care how they do it. I'm done with... Joe, have we not seen enough of this home run or nothing mentality?
So go back to his other years. His first year in Texas, he actually walked a lot.
Okay. Then he also hit 35 home runs one year. His strikeouts are always up there. His strikeouts are a high part of his game. He's a free swinger, Joe Hale.
He's like Kyle Schwarber, basically.
You're right, and you understand where I'm heading with this. It's not. I'm not bashing the player. It's the same thing that we've had over the last 4 years. Same type of player. Have we not learned that this is not going to work?
You're right. You said something about drinking Al's Kool-Aid.
Drinking Al's Kool-Aid. Reverend Al. You got to call him Reverend Al there, Joe.
I think I like the game plan going to yesterday's Eagles game. I love the play calling.
What, beat up on the JV Raiders? That was the game plan?
No. Jalen Hurts did more. And they had a practice today.
Who did? The Eagles?
Yes.
Really?
A walkthrough.
That was against the rules.
Because you get to play Saturday. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
And Jalen Hurts was on the practice field.
Well, that's good. That's good for Eagles fans to see. I was a little worried, I ain't gonna lie. And actually, you know what? When he got hurt was the last play of the third quarter, they brought him back out there for the first play of the fourth quarter. I was like, why are you doing that? Because I remember before they went to commercial, you saw Tanner McKee taking the jacket off.
Yes.
And then right back from commercial, there's Hurts under center. I'm like, what's going on? Why is he even back out there?
He should have stayed out.
Yeah, he should have stayed out. Yeah.
He wanted to get that AJ Brown touchdown pass.
I guess so.
You mentioned the spirit of Christmas. It's not what it used to be. Around my house, nobody's that great. My area, nobody's that great. So I just put up a tree behind me. Yeah, Joe, you're right. It does seem to have changed. Just like anything else in this world, it's changed for whatever reasons, political, religious. People don't want the attention anymore. It's kind of bad, but I remember growing up, it was the best time of the year. Growing up where I grew up in Philly, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the neighborhood I grew up in had anything to do with that, but you're right. Things have changed a lot in society for everything, and definitely in the way we celebrate Christmas. In terms of everything really has changed. I will agree with that. My favorite Christmas stuff is watching football. We talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Football on Christmas and Saturdays makes it special. Because then you got
4 games on Christmas Day this year? Then you got 4 games?
3.
Is it 3?
Yeah. It's the Cowboys Redskins.
Oh, Dallas gets Christmas too, huh?
Yeah, because Dallas got Thanksgiving.
Well, Thanksgiving every year.
Yes.
That's not fair. Somebody else should have gotten Christmas.
So, if the Eagles win first next year, did they get a harder schedule?
Well, they were first last year, or this past year, and I thought their schedule was pretty hard.
Did they go overseas? Or is it the third place team that goes overseas?
I don't know does that have any bearing on that. I'm not really sure if that's how they choose that. I don't know, but I prefer them not to go overseas. Honestly, I think it throws off the rhythm and everything, and I hate that. You know what? This year was weird because of the no back-to-back home games. Like they had 2 mini buys, and they had all that stuff going on. I want to see a more routine schedule. You get 1 Thursday night game, 2 Monday nights, and 2 Sunday nights. That's it. I don't want to see anything more than that.
Sunday afternoons. I like the Sunday afternoons.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
And it's funny. They did that back to. No, they don't.
No back-to-back home games this year.
It's weird.
Yeah, it was very weird, and that's very unfair. To be honest with you.
Yeah, because you're the Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm. And they've had back-to-back road games twice this year.
Yes.
Yep.
So
that kind of sucks. But
and scouting Commanders, it's Mariota time.
Mariota time, and that's going to be interesting, Joe Hale. As I said last night on the show, I don't think the Eagles will lose this football game. Now, I'm picking against them to lose, or I'm picking them to lose, but I don't physically think they're going to lose. And if we win again, no matter what way we win, 10-9, 31-0, whatever. Does that affect your sort of like
momentum?
Momentum or your belief that this team is getting better?
My belief is they're going to get eliminated the first round, whoever they play.
So all this to you is just. So are you at a point now where you're just waiting for the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because if the Eagles win Saturday and the Cowboys lose, it's it. It's over. NFC East is clinched. Eagles can't move up. They're pretty much locked into that number 3 seed.
I heard they could move up.
No, I've done the math myself a couple times today. There's no way they can.
Rev moves out, and the Packers lose out. Don't we own the tiebreaker against them too?
Well, we do own the tiebreaker against. Well, we don't own the tiebreaker. Actually, don't forget the Packers have a tie in their schedule. So I don't know how that works. I think actually a tie works more for
the Packers.
Yeah, I think it works more in their favor. And the Rams, I think the Rams have a better in-conference schedule or in-conference record than the Eagles.
No, we beat them now. I heard we.
Well, we did beat them, but I think their conference overall record is better than the Eagles.
The Rams.
Joe, you there?
Yes. But that's
I'll look at it, but I heard a couple times today, and I did the math myself, and I did see that they can't move up. They're pretty much locked into the 3 seed. If they end up winning on Saturday and everything else kind of breaks their way. Now, if they lose Saturday, and I know that they can't move up. There's no way they can move up. So they're either 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. One of those spots.
It's going to be free. Whoever wins that NFC East is free.
So this will be good stuff.
I'll talk to you on post game.
Yep. We'll see you tomorrow, Joe. Good as always, brother. I appreciate the dime. Yeah. So the Eagles, and we are at that particular moment of the season. I think when we and this is what really I was fearing more than anything else. And I actually looked at this part of the schedule way back in September and actually way back in May when it came out, and I'm like, you know what? This back end, Raiders, Commanders twice, and Bills has got a potential of being a cream puffs type of schedule if the Commanders don't come back out and play like they did in 24, which they did not, right? They got injured and their season's been a disaster and they've fallen off weeks ago. And I was looking at that part of the schedule and I was like, if that happens and the Commanders are irrelevant, then the end of the season is going to be very cloudy for the Eagles. I think it's gonna mask some things, and it's actually sort of coming to fruition right now as we get ready to sort of the back third, or not less than that, back third of our schedule. So Joe Howe says he's just waiting for the playoffs, and I think that's what a lot of Eagles fans are doing right now. It's just a matter of getting to the playoffs as healthy as they can be. And let's roll. Everything else at this point is just lip service. Everything at this point is just talk. We just got to wait to see how the team responds in the playoffs, and more importantly, who their opponent is. And they will get a home playoff game as the 3. Ricky, how are you?
I am good.
Good to hear, Ricky. What is on your mind tonight? I didn't hear you, Ricky, and I can't see you. What's on your mind tonight? Ricky, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
What is on your mind tonight, my friend?
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles indeed, Ricky Deal. 31-0 winners yesterday over those stinking Las Vegas Raiders. And Ricky Deal, the Eagles, is in Ricky's mind, is everything right with the Eagles? Have all the questions been answered about what's been ailing this team with yesterday's 31 win? Okay, so Ricky says all's right. I think Ricky's been hanging out with Reverend Al Zafiri too much, honestly. But Listen, man, I love your optimism. As I said, don't ever stop. Keep being what you are. Keep doing what you do, brother. And we'll talk tomorrow. Ricky deal, man. So I guess we talked a little bit about the Garcia move, and I don't, it is what it is, and we're going to deal with some hot stove in a little bit later on in the show. But let's get back on the Eagles, because I do want to get into the postmortem. Typically, this would be Victory Monday, right, around the Delaware Valley, and I guess it was on a lot of outlets, but it's not Victory Monday here. I actually have had, I did the post game yesterday. I did my show last night. I've dwelled into the Victory Monday stuff already. But what I was more interested in seeing here today was the, again, I've used the propaganda word a lot on this show, because that's a lot of what the purveyors of propaganda do. I mean, this fan base, God love them. And it's the internal struggle, right? One side of the fan base says you're not a fan because you're not with them through the bad times. The other side of the fan base says I am with them always, but I can definitely be critical of them when I need to be. And until they show me otherwise, I'm going to stay critical of them. And then I guess there's my side, which there's only a few on our side that have seen enough to know that we've seen too much, and that no matter what, things are not right. You know what I'm saying? So what I heard today was a rash of back and forth propaganda, gloating over or gushing over the performance of Jalen Hurts, gushing over the complete game of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't discredit the fact that the Eagles played a complete game. I 100% agree with that statement. But let's look at it from the other side of the Homer aisle. That complete game came in Week 15 against the Las Vegas Raiders. So in all the previous weeks that led up to this game, the Eagles could not string together a complete effort, both consistent effort on the offensive and defensive sides. It took a game against a demoralized, defunct, dismal, disastrous Raider team for the Eagles to play that complete game. It took that team to bring out the best in the Philadelphia Eagles. Does anybody else see a problem with that? Where was the complete games in the 14 games that preceded this one? And is it so hard to figure out and to ascertain that the completeness of this game was brought on solely by the opponent? I said it yesterday time and time again, and Joe Hale alluded to it and said he loved the creativity offensively for the Eagles. I'm going to counter that, and I'm going to say, Joe, it's very similar to the creative offense they ran against the Chargers. Now, Jalen Hurts took his shots down the field against the Raiders, and he was very successful in doing that. But what about the other 14 teams that he has not been successful going down the field consistently on? What about them? Is it right to downplay the Eagles' victory over the Raiders? Is it right to say it doesn't mean anything? No, of course not. It's a win. The Raiders are an NFL team. But is it completely off the rails to just forget about the previous 14 weeks? And I know it's going to be a narrative. And I know it sounds like a losing narrative from this side by saying, don't get overly confident about what happened yesterday against the Raiders. Now, the homers have come at you with multiple fronts on this. The front one, of course, is a complete game, right? We saw it work, how good it can be when it's working consistently. Again, where was it for 14 weeks prior to this? Front two, the homers come at you with is Jalen Hurts' performance. Okay? Jalen Hurts still, in my opinion, had a very pedestrian day. Right? I mean, he threw for what, $170 something? they put Jalen Hurts in the position that Jalen Hurts needs to be in. But they've done that same thing throughout the previous 14 weeks. Now, the Chargers game was an anomaly. I don't expect Jalen Hurts to turn a football over 5 times in a game. I don't expect anyone to turn a football over 5 times in a game, and I know that. But that was, I think, more of the Jalen Hurts that we can expect than the one we saw yesterday against a bad Raiders team. The offensive play calling, to me, wasn't that creative yesterday. It was the same thing. They ushered in a couple RPOs, design runs for the quarterback, and a shovel pass. That's it. I mean, is that going to win you a Super Bowl? I don't know. And Brandon Graham, and the day he had, everyone's, great job, Brandon. You did awesome. Okay, it was against the Raiders. Everybody's performance yesterday was elevated because of the level of competition. Don't downplay the level of competition. Front 3 is what they come at you with, is you can only play who's in front of you. Absolutely. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you can't. That's a correct statement. But you can keep yourself grounded in realism, knowing who you beat. Now, I hope the hell the Eagles as a team are not taking this win like the Eagle fan base is. I hope they're not running around NovaCare right now thinking, we're back, baby. We're back. Because we just beat up on a junior varsity team. I hope they're still going into their preparations, hopefully with the same vim and vigor that I guess they've been doing all season. I do not think the Eagles will beat the Commanders, but I do. I won't be picking the Eagles this week. I said this last week after the Chargers game. I said I am not picking the Eagles to win the rest of the season. I won't do it. A couple of reasons why. One, these games are going to get less and less meaningful as we go through this. And 2, I don't believe in them. So the Homers, they came at you with 4 different fronts today. But one of the fronts that they didn't come at you, and then they threw in at the end of every one of their ridiculous rants about how they're back. They said, I get it, it's the Raiders. Matter of fact, everybody was saying that. Everybody who was standing up on a soapbox preaching the word of the Eagles today always ended it with, I understand it was the Raiders. I mean, I guess, I don't know if that's their way of saying that I really know this deep in my mind that this was the Raiders and that maybe I shouldn't be this excited, or was them just saying that because they felt they had to, because it was the Raiders. I don't know. I don't know what side of that would be on. But it's going to be a long 3 weeks, or actually a long 4 weeks until we get to the playoffs. Because we're going to have to sit here. I'm going to have to sit here and listen to, if they go out and beat the Commanders, which they probably will Saturday, I'm going to have to listen to that, they're back again. And then on Sunday or next week against the Bills, when they play their second and third stringers, because that game is meaningless for them. No one's going to care. And I'll have to continue listening to how they're back. And then on the final Sunday against the Commanders, again, the 4th string will be in there, and no one's really going to care about that game. So it's going to be a long month before we get back to some meaningful Eagles football. And I think we're going to go into the playoffs misinformed and riding on a Trojan horse. Do you guys understand that? So Eagles, 31-0 winners. Ricky, real quick, man, what's up?
And go Eagles.
Go Eagles indeed, Ricky Deal. You said that you think they're back. You said that you think that they've answered all their questions. Ricky, I hope you're right. But I don't know, Ricky. I'm not bought in full. Well, I won't be bought in, but I'm not bought in on the Raiders game at all. I thought it was a pretty pedestrian team that they played. But, hey, again, Ricky, don't change what you are, who you are, man. Please don't change. We'll talk tomorrow, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, brother. Have a good night, Ricky Deal. My man, Ricky. All right, let's get into the other night segment. We're getting deep into this program. We got some things we got to do. Before I do that, I just want to remind that, Reverend Al preaches on Fridays, but he also does a duet on Sunday with the other homer, Mike Laro, as they come at you with the Philly AM Sports Show every Sunday morning at 9 here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Your Sunday mornings will never be the same with the Philly AM Sports Show. All right, let's get into the of the night segment. All right, this is the of the night Flyers prospect part of the show for our of the night segment, and we're going to go to a prospect that's sort of intriguing lately. He plays in Europe, came over this year or last year, had a cup of coffee with the Phantoms at the end of the season. Now he's back in Europe, I guess the Flyers are kind of trying to figure out what they want to do with him. He's not signed right now. And if they don't sign him by the spring, he will become an unrestricted free agent, as he's been in the system now for about 4 years, unsigned. Again, he's sort of an enigma, and I think a lot of people really want him to be something that he's not, or they want him to be something, and it's just not developing quick enough, which is a common theme with a lot of Flyer prospects. But tonight we're talking about former fourth-round 2023 pick Alex Chernik, the left wing, right wing, I guess he's a forward, from the Nybro Vikings of the HA League out there, I think in Finland. He was 5'10", 179 pounds. That's probably one of the reasons why it's taken him a long time to develop. He is an explosive skater and can weave through neutral zones, defenses with crossover, heavy rush patterns, and accelerate quickly to win loose puck races. His hands can also keep up with his feet, allowing him to attack the triangle of the defender in several different ways. Very undersized, very underweight. I think if you look at him, he's sort of like, I guess if you're looking at the smaller, faster, fearless type forwards, the Martin St. Louis or the Danny Briere type of comp comes to mind. I'm not putting him in to that category, but I think that's what the Flyers are looking at. I think the Flyers are trying to exhaust all possible avenues on trying to assess whether or not he has that sort of ceiling. Again, he's a natural skater. He's a natural scorer. He's a natural hockey player. Very undersized, very underweight. As I mentioned, he played in Europe, came over last season late, did have a cup of coffee with the Phantoms, appeared in 3 games, tallied 1 assist and a +2 rating in those 3 games. Currently this year in Sweden or Finland, Norway. What's the blue-white flag? Is that Norway? He's played a total of 25 games for 2 different teams. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points and a -4. As it's been sort of a slow grind for him to start this season. But again, the Flyers are running out of time with Alex Chernik. He is on that cusp this spring, where the Flyers have to make a decision by signing him. He's unsigned right now. So this is a do or die type of season for Chernik. Do the Flyers pull the trigger and bring him back over and just kind of give him one more last look at the AHL level? Or are they satisfied with watching his progress in Europe, the bigger ice, wider ice, as they try to make a decision on whether or not to continue forward with the Alex Chernik experience? But he has definitely been one of the more puzzling of the prospects, as he can't seem to get a firm grasp on North American ice, as his time is ticking now, as draft rights with the Flyers are about to expire. And if he could sort of, again, I'm not putting him in the Martin St. Louis, Danny B thing. I'm not saying that's what I'm expecting from him, but if he can kind of just fall short of that just by a little bit, raise up to that comp just a little bit, that would probably put a jet in the step of this offense and really open things up offensively for the Flyers and the rest of the scorers out there. But I do have concerns, and I think the Flyers have them as well, about the height, 5'10". I think he's actually up to about 190 now. I think he's put on about 11 pounds. But he's not going to grow. I mean, he's already hit puberty. I don't think he's growing anymore. But Interesting pick with Alex Chernick. I think the Flyers really want him to work out, but he just can't seem to get his feet firmly placed on North American ice. And that might be the end of him. I don't know. But there you have it. Alex Chernick is your prospect of the night here for the Flyers on the program. Is there a Flyers Live tomorrow night? There is a Flyers Live tomorrow night, and I will host it, Ricky Deal. I will be your host. Flyers, do I not have? Oh, my God. I don't have that. Let me put it in here. We have a Clear the Ice show tomorrow. Flyers will be in action against the Montreal Canadiens, the Habalies Canadiens, and I will be your host for said postgame. There we are. There's Flyers tomorrow night, me, Thursday night, Mike, and I'll be back Saturday against our first meeting with the Rangers in 25-26. So, yes, I will be on the call tonight or tomorrow night and Saturday. That means no final word tomorrow. So there's your Clear the Ice schedule. Let's get into we're gonna cut it short a little bit earlier tonight. We're gonna get into our card segment. I'll hold the hot stove report till Wednesday night. Let some more of these deals become finalized. The Garcia deal is not official yet through Major League Baseball, so we'll hold off on updating you on the rest of the comings and goings around Major League Baseball till Wednesday night, till we get a little bit more of a firm grasp. And maybe, who knows, by Wednesday night we can talk about another Philly signing. Maybe JT's a Philly, or maybe they re-sign. I don't know. I don't really know what they're going to do, but let's get into our final segment of the night, your card review. All right, this is the MattyB card review part of the show. This is the time of the show that I get into one of my favorite all-time hobbies that I've really gotten back into over the course of the last 2 years. Really, really returned to the fold in a big way. Spurred on mainly by my stepson and his massive card collection that I just sort of took over and combined both my collection and his collection into one big one. Went through, organized it all. Recorded it all. It's been a process now going on. We're coming up on 2 years. It'll be 2 years this summer that I started it. It's been pretty much everything's been put away. Pretty much everything's been labeled and recorded. But I love being able to come on this show and end every show with sort of kind of going over a card. It could be a baseball card, a football card, basketball, or hockey card. We primarily stay in baseball, but I have cards from all four majors, and we will hit on all four majors at some point. Once I get through the 25,000 baseball cards, we'll transition to hockey. And now I got to actually mix it in a little bit. I got to start bringing some football and hockey and basketball into the conversation more so than the baseball. But there's just so much baseball cards to talk about. And tonight's a special card for me because in the hobby of collecting cards, we all know that autographed baseball cards, football cards, hockey cards, and autographed anything is more valuable than non-autographed stuff. And I had an opportunity a couple weeks ago to seek out an autograph of a player who's a young rising star in Major League Baseball. And I was able to meet the kid and get his autograph and add it to my collection. His card is in my collection now as an autograph. I'll show you the actual card I got autographed. It is the 2025 Topps Update Series rookie debut card of Ben Rice, the catcher first baseman of the New York Yankees. Young prospect on the rise for the Yankees. Just sort of joining in the fray out there of what they can do with their bats. Ben Rice is this card in itself is a base card. There's no bells or whistles or anything fancy about this thing. It's a straight base card out of the Topps Update Series. It is card number US 25 out of the 2025 Update Series set. But it actually, out of all of our cards that I have for Ben Rice, and I got about 8 of them total that date back through, they're all from 2025 because he was a rookie in 2024. So they're all 2025 variants. This card to me had the most potential of being more valuable. They were all base cards except for the holiday card. I had a light blue glitter card for the holiday set this year, and I think we've already done that card on the show. But This card has, out of the ones I have, it's probably got the most value in it, being that it's a rookie card and his rookie debut card. And this is a good investment to go and get a card like this signed. So when I look at this, when I put this segment together every night, I look at financial windfall for every single card we talk about. And some cards I can find that are logged in some sort of database or on eBay or on other card collecting websites. This card as an autograph does not exist on any website. I've looked at it. I looked at it extensively today and yesterday. This card in itself, unautographed, is all over the place, and it values at about between $6 and $8. This card itself, but when you throw a signature in, and when you potentially go get this card graded and say it grades out to a PSA 8, 9, or 10 with an autograph, that's when this card becomes significantly more valuable. So you go from a $10 investment, and I think I saw a 2025 Heritage card of Ben Rice, rookie base, autograph for about $700-800. So, and that was a PSA 8. That was graded as a PSA 8. So you can take that as sort of the ceiling right now on a base card of Ben Rice as a PSA 8, $700-800. That's a pretty good damn deal. And obviously when you have autographed cards of young alleged superstar players, you want to hold on to those and see how they go. And then also keep an eye on the market. If it begins to crash, you got to move off. But there is no Topps Update Series Ben Rice cards that are autographed that I could find. The only closest I could find was a 2025 Topps Heritage card, valued at around $800 or listed for $800, autographed. So I'm kind of use that as the gauge. Again, getting to the end of the 2025 card season, Topps Update Chrome is out. That means that's it, man. We're at the end. We got to wait till February for 2026 Topps Series 1 to come out, but that's tonight's card, and here it is. As I said, I got this autographed a couple weeks ago, and there it is with the big old blue Sharpie Ben Rice scribbled right across the front. Again, it's a base card from 2025 Topps Update Series. Got it about 2 weeks ago when he was at a card signing, and he's a big kid, man. He's about 6'7", 6'8", man. Kid's huge. Huge dude. But he was a really nice guy. We talked for a little bit, and he signed my card, and then I left because I was in line with a bunch of kids, literally wearing Yankee stuff, which was making me physically ill. So, but that's part of the process in this business. If you want to be a collector, you got to find autographs. Now, autographs really are what separates it. Now, we know that in Topps, they actually have cards that are sent out to players throughout the season where they autograph them and then they put them in the packs, and then they you can get autographed cards now in packs. So obviously that's the big business. So 2025 Ben Rice Topps Update Series base auto card number US 25, not listed that I could find. But I did find a 2025 Topps Heritage base auto of Ben Rice for about $800. So there you go. I got a potential $1,000 baseball card there. And there you have MattyB's card review of the night, the Ben Rice Update Series 2025 autographed, live ink, autographed by the player himself. Got the old certificate of authenticity accompanying the card, so there's no question there. That'll do it. And that'll do it for me tonight. We're right at an hour tonight. Kind of a short show. Not much to talk about these days, man. It's the Eagles or the Phillies. Flyers are kind of lurking in the shadows. But tomorrow night, the Flyers will be back at it against the Canadians. I will be back here with the call of post-game. There will be no final word tomorrow night. And then the rest of the week, Wednesday and Thursday, we will be back as our regular scheduled time for the final word at 9 o'clock. So make sure you're tuned in. And all the other great stuff that's going on here on the network. We had a big 5-hour pregame show today of the Steelers Dolphins, and then tomorrow there's your schedule, the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight program, locks, props, and parlays, and Flyers Canadians postgame. So as much to see and do here on this Rap Sports Network. Until we talk again tomorrow on Clear the Ice, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Keeping up the fight. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow on Clear the Ice.